Hiya, in this video I'm going to be redoing one of my polytunnel frames. Now I've got two of these cheap sort of Chinese polytunnels. The one at the back there I now use as a bean growing arch. I've put sheep netting across it and I grow beans up and over that. This one I was going to do the same thing and buy a new polytunnel, but I thought, well, actually it's going to save me a lot of money if I can just reuse this one. The frame is only about I think maybe coming into its fourth year of age, so it's not a lot of rust on it. It's got a bit of life left in it, so I've decided to resheet it, but I'm not going to get the sheet from the company I got it from. I got it from a company called Crocodile Trading. The green one, which was the first one I had, lasted about 6 years, and I've still got some of the sheet now that I use as a tarp, and it's really good. It's lasted really well. This one was a white one, and within 18 months it was just falling apart. I don't know whether it wasn't UV treated. It was supposed to have been, so it just fell apart and has basically not been used for a couple of years, just been sat there totally disintegrating. So I've stripped it all down, and what I've decided to do, rather than buying the new covers from the company, they're about 115 quid, that's probably plus VAT and delivery. What I did instead is I bought enough plastic sheeting from First Tunnels, which are a really well-known polytunnel company, to sheet it with that. So even though it's a cheapy old frame, I'm hoping that I can redo it with decent plastic and at least get a few years out of it, and then maybe once the frame sort of rusts away, I will get myself a proper little polytunnel. But just for now, I just thought I'd save a bit of money. So the new sheet from First Tunnels, enough to do this, was 130 quid, but obviously it's going to be a much better quality of sheeting. So what I've done this morning, I've got my mate coming tomorrow to help me with the sheeting, if I can get to that point. I'm hoping I can. I've had to dig in the frame, drop it down about 5 inches on this side here, to get it level across, and then I was just about to start digging out, trenching for the plastic, and I thought, actually, I don't know if I want to use the old original metal door. So if you know these tunnels, if you've got one, you basically have a metal frame for the door. It's all rickety, doesn't really work very well, nothing, it's all a bit loose and wibbly wobbly. So I thought what I'll actually do is try and do the door similar to like a proper polytunnel. So I've got some pressure treated timber. I've got 2 bits sat over in the barn. They've been in there a couple of days in a mixture of diesel and old engine oil, just so that it gives them a bit more protection, the bit that's in the ground. And I've removed the door frame and the crossbars that were coming to the centre of the door frame, and I've taken out the centre section of the ground bar. It's got a ground bar either end. I've taken out the centre section. So what I'm going to do is put these timbers in the ground up to the top, and then these bottom bars here, these 2 sections that come out, I will screw to this to brace it up and to brace the frame up, and then this I'll cut so that it just fits just under the bar. And then I've got let me just lean that over to there. I'll just chuck on the floor. And I've got these bits. This was the door frame here. So these are bent to fit around the bar. So what I'm going to do, when I come back down later, I'm going to go in for some lunch in a minute. I'm going to cut these off, hammer them flat, and that will give me a little bracket that I can fix to there. And I'll screw some holes through that and into the timber, so that will hold the timber door frame at the top, and then it'll be screwed at the bottom as well, so that'll make it nice and solid. And then I'll just have to put a crossbar in. Obviously these cheap polytunnels are lower than a proper polytunnel, so I'm gonna have to put the top roof bar in, just, luckily I'm quite short, just above head height, so I'll only have a little bit of plastic there, but something like, I don't want to be banging my head on it, but I'll sort of make it up as I go along. But that's the idea. Timber door frame, then I can pull the plastic round, I'm going to trench it in, pull it round, and then just get another piece of wood on the front of the frame and fix through to hold the plastic. I'm not going to bother with anything at the other end. If it gets a bit too hot, then all I'm going to have to do is get some wood and just cut out a window and put a netting window in with some timber at one end, or just some kind of flap or something. I'll see how it does with just having this door. I can leave this permanently open through the summer, obviously, because it'll be hot, and and if I need some sort of vent the other side, I'll just cut it in and frame it up in the summer. See how we go. But that's the plan anyway. Like I say, mate's coming tomorrow, so I've really got to crack on today. I was hoping to get all the trenching done so that I didn't have to make him do any digging, because he's coming to help me. Nice old boy. But yeah, I don't know if I'll be fully ready, but going to try and get there, and I'll try and document it as best I can tomorrow, getting the plastic on. But obviously, while he's helping me, I don't want to be stopping to do videos. I just want to crack on with it. So I'll video what I can, and hopefully it'll turn out all right. Right, so I've been fiddle-arsing about for a lot longer than I wanted to, really. Right, so basically what I've done, like I said, this side I had to sink down. That's getting on 6 inches. It was getting a bit difficult. It's quite stony there, and I'd already got it in position and squared. So it needed about another inch, but it's near enough. I'm happy with it. So what I've basically done is I've cut this, not cut it. I've just took out the middle section of bar, and the holes where the bolts went through, I've just screwed into the posts that are going in the ground for the door frame. These posts are pressure treated 3x2, and I stood them in a mixture of diesel and old engine oil for a couple of days as well, just to protect them. It's an old farmer's trick. It works really well. And what I've done, so that's 35.5 inches at the bottom. I cut a 35.5 inch piece for the top, so I know it's square, and I've levelled it. Because the frame isn't perfectly level, I've used the old holes from the door frame, and as you can see, that one is just in onto the top bar and the other one is on there. That's just because the frame isn't sitting perfectly on the ground, but I'm not too worried about that. So all I did was cut them off, smack it flat with a hammer, and then just use the original bolts and holes, and that's now sort of brace that up nice and tight to the frame. And yeah, so all I'll have to do now is just build a door another day. That gives me something to brace the plastic round onto. I just put a line across. I pushed these back a little bit so that I could get this, as you can see if I can show the camera, nice and flat. So that's plastic should come round and sit against there tight. And I've got enough of that pressure treated timber to basically sandwich the plastic and screw straight through sides and top. And then, like I say, I'll just build a door another day. So yeah, I've got to crack on now and get some of the trench dug, just so there's a bit less to do tomorrow when my mate comes and we can concentrate on doing the plastic. But yeah, I'm going to crack on now. So we didn't actually get the plastic on. It was a bit too windy that day. So what we did is we just got the trench all dug. So I'm basically ready to go. And the next time my mate's over, he usually pops over every Saturday morning for a couple of hours. So the next time he's over and it's still and not too cold, because obviously you don't want it too cold. I think they say the plastic can obviously shrink up a little bit in the cold. You want it a little bit warmer. So the next time we have a day that is a little bit warmer and still, then we can crack on and put the cover on. So basically, that I don't mind though, because that's given me a bit more time. I've ordered a bit of extra hotspot tape, which I've got to put on. I'm just waiting for a dry day when I'm not working, so I can go around and just wipe off the arches with a bit of isopropyl, because it's an old frame. I just want to make sure there's no grease and dirt on it, so I'm going to wipe it off and then put all the hotspot tape on. And what I decided to do with the door is basically I bought some battens, and I'm just going to do it like you'd do a normal polytunnel. So I've got one side fixed on the outside all the way around, and then we can pull the plastic sheeting in, and I can just screw on a second piece and sandwich the plastic that way in so that'd be like an S around the timber, and that will hold it nice and tight. So yeah, got that all ready. Like I say, really it's just the hotspot tape now, and just checking each of the joins on this frame, make sure it's nipped up, and I've been putting a bit of duct tape along the top as well, just to sort of round off the bolt heads that you get on the joins there a little bit. So yeah, the trench is all dug anyway, so we're all ready to go, just waiting for the right day. Could take a while though, because it's been bitterly cold this last week or so. So yeah, just waiting now. So I've finally managed to get the plastic on. It's been weeks. I think it's been like 7 weeks. My mate only comes over on a Saturday morning for a couple of hours, and just every Saturday it was either pouring with rain, too windy, or frozen solid. So we got it done this Saturday anyway. It was cold. It was frozen when we came down, but and I was a bit worried that the plastic might be a bit sort of tight. But other than that, it was clear. It was still as still. So actually, by the time we put the plastic over, it's about 11 o'clock. Things were starting to thaw, and as soon as we had the plastic over and we were getting it positioned and getting it in the right place, the heat from the bright sunshine, even though it was chilly, really got it warm inside. So I think that helped to sort of get the plastic moving a bit. We managed to stretch it out, and it's pretty tight. I'm sure, you know, some of these other systems you get on proper polytunnels, I'm sure you get it a lot tighter than that, but it's good enough. And yeah, so trenched it in. I'm 100 kilos. I was using my weight as my mate was backfilling it, so we did a pretty good job. I think really for what it is, considering it's just a cheap polytunnel frame. So costings and that, I'll run through it. So basically what I did, I ordered 12 meters, but I only needed to order 10. So I think I put it in the calculator. They have a calculator on site, and it said 10 meters, which I think it's a 6 meter tunnel. It only just sort of came down to about ground level. I think this is about just over 6 foot, so it's maybe just up from the ground each side. And having never done a polytunnel with plastic, only having done the fitted covers that these came with, I wasn't quite sure, so I just ordered 12 meters just to be on the safe side. But anyone considering doing this, if you've got the frame, 10 would have done it. The idea is you pull the plastic round and it will make it fit. You end up just cutting off this middle bit anyway, so the side plastic will actually fit. So for a 6 by 3 meter tunnel, a 10 meter length would have done. But I've got a bit left over now, enough to use over a bed and stuff, you know. I've got a nice big cut off bit. But so that would have been 108 quid, and then obviously a bit of timber for the door. So what would that have been? I don't know, 8, 16. If you said 30 quid for timber and screws, so it might be 140 quid, let's say, to redo this. Of course, and the hot tape. If you said 150 quid, then to redo this with proper polytunnel fabric. This is Supertherm from First Tunnels, and I think it's guaranteed for 7 years. But you quite regularly will get 10 or more out of it, apparently. And the covers, these were from Crocodile Trading. The covers are, I think they're 115 or 120 the last time I looked. Whether that's plus VAT and delivery, I don't know, but let's say it's 120 quid. So for 20 to 30 quid more, you can do it with proper polytunnel fabric without the silly windows, because those covers that you buy, they all come with a little mesh window, and the mesh just rots and disintegrates within a couple of years anyway. And then you've got bits flapping about everywhere. It's just they're just a bit cheap and nasty. I think this proper polytunnel fabric is way better, and it's you can just feel the strength in it as you tension it. It's like a lot of strength. It's really strong stuff. Yeah, so I mean, it's done a really good job. I'll just show you quickly around it what I've done. I'll show you the end where, because I put so much tension on it and there's no support. Obviously, the end I'm at now, you've got the timber door frame holding it up. But if you look at this end here, it's slightly bowed out on that side a bit. I put a little bit too much tension in the plastic and bowed it out, but it's really rigid. I mean, if you the other tunnels, when they come with the frames on, even though I trenched them in, they can't take the sort of tension I put on this, so it always move. Now there is a little bit of movement in that, but it's way more rigid than when you do it with the covers that they come with. So obviously this end hasn't got a door or a vent in, but what we did do when we put it in, we tried to get lots of little creases, but I left a slightly flatter section in the middle because I thought I could just frame in a window, frame it in, cut the plastic out and put a bit of mesh up there, or cut the plastic out, bar the top, so I can sort of have maybe an opening window or something. I don't know. I'll see if I need that anyway. And what I'm actually thinking is, I don't know whether to buy a door or whether to just pin a bit of plastic up that I can take away in the summer, save money on having to actually build a new door and buy hinges. So I might just do that. But you know, like I say, for the price, it's worth a try. It's worked out fairly well, and hopefully I'll get sort of 10 years out of this. It depends if the frame lasts that long, but hopefully it will. But anyway, guys, that Milo, what are you rolling in? What are you doing? Yes, I'm talking to you. I don't know. Anyway, guys, that is it. I hope you enjoyed the video and it gave you some ideas if you've got one of these tunnels that needs recovering. It's definitely something to think about, I think. But anyway, guys, take it easy and we'll see you next time.